What are the best upgrades for the Traxxas Maxx? With tons of parts and accessories available, it can be difficult to know what really matters and what doesn't. That's why after owning our Maxx for 2 years on 4S and 6S use, we're going to talk about what upgrades we think make the biggest difference for durability and for achieving maximum max performance. Now before we begin, let me say that the Traxxas Maxx is an incredible monster truck and it doesn't necessarily need any upgrades. But as with any RC car, there's always room for improvement if you want to pursue that. But you don't have to. Now with upgrades, some of them will make little improvements to the vehicle while others will make really big improvements. And often the price will reflect that. With all the upgrade options available, you could easily transform the Maxx's looks and styling. You could make the truck a speed demon to sit low and slung to be really fast on the pavement. You could even convert the Traxxas Maxx to be 6S, although we don't recommend that.
Holy smokes.
So there's a lot of different possibilities or directions you could take when upgrading the Maxx. Now with that, here are our 5 best Maxx upgrades in terms of performance, convenience, and durability. Number 5. Now number 5 is a really simple upgrade that'll be very useful for some people, not so much for others. But it's the carbon fiber battery hold down from Extreme Racing. Now with this tray, you remove the battery hold down bar and instead secure the carbon plate to the chassis using the hook and loop tape to secure the battery. Now if you're already using Traxxas batteries, the hold down bar will serve you well the way it is. But for those who are looking to use bigger batteries, the carbon fiber battery mount is a great alternative. Now many of you know it, but inside of our Maxx, we ended up using the PureTech adhesive style battery strap to use larger 6S batteries. And so far it's worked pretty well for us, but that strap does not screw down to the chassis. It's just stuck on there. So screwing the plate to the chassis is a much better basher solution. Number 4. This next upgrade idea is my favorite with any RC, and it's different tires. Now honestly, the stock Maxx tires are pretty good, using a multi-terrain tread pattern and long-lasting rubber compound that works really well on dirt and the street. But this upgrade idea is not because of those tires, and instead, it's because of the wheels. Now what we found from customers is that if you jump your Maxx high enough, the plastic wheels may weaken when you land or even crack. And a cracked wheel is no good. Now if you're not really one to go out and jump your Traxxas Maxx big, or you just kind of take it easy, you'll probably never experience this issue. But for those who are wanting to jump their truck bigger and harder, the pre-mounted Proline monster truck tires are a great alternative with a bunch of great tread designs like these Badlands 3.8s or these Trencher LPs. Now keep in mind, when you use a tire on the Maxx that's a larger, taller size than the stock Maxx tire, you'll probably need to gear down your motor pinion 1 or 2 teeth to ensure you don't overheat your electronics. For a smaller tire size idea, one of my personal favorite combinations on the Maxx are using the UDR tires, which are just a tad smaller diameter than the Maxx tires. Now because of this, the adjusted tire size gives the truck a boost in torque and acceleration, but less top speed, kind of like gearing down on your pinion gear. Now you must use Traxxas wheels with these tires, and it's unknown how well they hold up with big and gnarly jumps. Now the cool thing about the Traxxas Maxx is it will fit almost any 8-scale size tire and wheel, as long as the wheel has a 17mm wheel hex. And please remember, if you're going to invest in really nice tires, put tape over the vent hole on the wheel if you're gonna drive in wet conditions. If you don't, the foam insert inside gets wet, it gets moldy, and eventually breaks down, ruining those new tires. So the tape just prevents the water from getting inside. When it's dry out, you don't need tape. If you love RC, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Number 3. As with any RTR RC car, the steering servo is a common failure point, and for good reason. The motor in the servo works really hard to hold the tires in the direction you pointed them, while the surface pushes back against the tires. And as you can imagine, the heavier the vehicle, the faster it's going, the greater those forces are exerted onto the servo, adding to the extra stress and strain. Now with the Maxx being a heavy, high-performance basher, an upgraded steering servo is a must-have. It doesn't necessarily need to be done right away, but definitely do it once the stock servo dies. For upgraded servo options, take a look at the 2085X X-Max servo for a more powerful solution while retaining this unique size. Traxxas also offers this metal servo horn that will fit onto this larger servo size made just for the Maxx. Now with the unique size of these Traxxas servos, it's not common to find aftermarket servos from other brands in this size. But we can get around that by using the Traxxas X-Max servo adapter, which allows us to use any standard size servo we want, which are readily available at hobby shops. Now one thing to keep in mind when shopping for servos is you're going to want a waterproof one if you plan to drive in wet conditions. Otherwise, you can't get the servo wet. For standard size servos, my two recommendations would be the EcoPower WP120T waterproof servo for you journeymen, or go with the waterproof ProTech 370 TBL for full God mode. Now if you do go this route, you'll have to provide your own servo horn if you want to use a standard size servo, because the Maxx horn is just too big to fit. For adding that servo horn, we walk through it in our 6S conversion video, which we'll link to down below. Now here's a tip: if after about 6 months to a year of use on your vehicle and you've noticed your steering just feels a bit weaker, or maybe it doesn't track straight like it used to, there's a good chance that your servo saver parts are worn out and need to be replaced. Now these parts are only plastic and they twist and turn on each other in an effort to absorb the quick jabs of energy experienced by the tires to then lessen the blow on the servo. After time, dirt and dust finds their way into these parts, which are constantly rubbing on each other, and it ends up acting like sandpaper, wearing thin the material, weakening the tension on the servo saver. The result of this is the steering may feel spongy, the vehicle may not turn as tight as it once did, or it just may not drive straight anymore, veering off to the left or to the right. Number 2. Our number 2 upgrade is probably the most popular, and it's the WideMax conversion kit, which adds 20mm extra width per side for a 40mm total increase. Now this may not seem like much, but it widens the Maxx by over an inch and greatly improves stability and cornering performance. In fact, this kit may be the single greatest upgrade to enhance the overall experience for those with a full throttle, aggressive driving style. This conversion kit includes everything needed with a full set of extreme duty Traxxas suspension arms, links, rear springs, and extended plastic drive shafts. The first version of the WideMax kit did not include the extended drive shafts, but they do now. Now before we show our number 1 Maxx upgrade, a few honorable mentions need to go to the top 3 items for your Traxxas RC, with the Traxxas Link wireless module, the Traxxas cell checker, and the ProTech aluminum fans being must-have items. Now since the Maxx is made for heavy bashing, this is especially true for these fans, because the casing on the plastic fans will flex when you crash hard, and it causes the blades to hit the case and then break off. With the aluminum case fans, they don't flex, so this doesn't happen, making this a must-have for your Maxx motor and ESC. Alright, number 1. The plastic drive shafts on the Maxx hold up pretty dang good for what they are, but they're plastic and they can withstand only so much abuse until they wear out and break. That's why the Traxxas steel constant velocity drive shafts are the number 1 upgrade for the Maxx, providing a robust and durable solution that should last many, many hours of use. These drive shafts even come assembled but not greased, so we recommend add a little grease inside the ball joint. Now the downside to these metal drive shafts is that you need to buy 2 other parts to make them work. First, you need the upgraded 17mm hex hub set to work with these new beefier drive shafts. And the nice thing is, they're aluminum, where the stock hexes were only plastic. The second item needed are the actual 17mm wheel nuts to secure on the tires. These hexes will require a 17mm wheel nut wrench. Something really important to consider is that these drive shafts are offered in 2 different lengths. One set is made for the truck in its stock configuration, and the second set is made for the WideMax conversion kit. So it's important to choose the correct drive shafts for the configuration of your truck. Now once you have those drive shafts, the durability and reliability of the Maxx goes way up. So much so that if I could choose only 1 upgrade for the Traxxas Maxx, these drive shafts would be it. Guys, this video was inspired by my friend and neighbor Michael, who got back into RC recently with the Traxxas Maxx and has been having the time of his life. Guys, you can check out the Traxxas Maxx and everything else we talked about by following our links down below. And check out these videos for more RC.